We are extremely happy to have the presence of Sri Kaling Tayeng IAS and alumni of VKV's Itanagar. At a very young age, he became the IAS officer and brought laurels to the state, to the organization, to the schools, and he is here today. Let us welcome him by giving a big clap. Also welcome our Dr. Sasikumar, sir, the main resource persons for this camp.
The Secretary of Department of Child and Women Development, Planning, Health and Power, Arunachal Pradesh State, Mr. Kaling Tayeng. Am I pronouncing it right? Yes. Maybe our students who are here, who are aspirants to become the highest in the service, will get enlightened by getting a family background of yours.
Thank you, sir, for your welcome and all that. And from my side, very good afternoon to all of you. So by seeing you, I recall my days long back. I was studying in till the early 90s. Then at the time perhaps conditions were more amenable compared to what we are facing now. My father was a school teacher, he's still there, and my mother was a housewife, she expired about some months back.
How many siblings have you got?
Siblings, I got one sister who is working as an inspector in the tax and excise department.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
So she was also a student of VKV?
Yes, she also studied in the girls' school. At the time it was VKV children, I think, for a couple of years, then VKV passed out in class 10.
So you started from your class grade 1 to grade 12 in VKV or?
In my case, I studied from class KG to class 5 in VKV, class 4 in VKV. Just in 1984, I mean, from 84 we were shifted at the time. All these schools were primary schools for us, so we shifted from VKV to VKV Janapur, where we were still in class 10.
Okay, so 10th grade from Janapur and then 12th?
And 11, 12, unlike now, that time VKVs did not have 11, 12, and amongst the reasonably comparatively okay schools were Archimation Deoghand and Archimation Allo at that point of time, apart from Kendra did 11, 12 between 90 and 92 from Archimations to Deoghand.
So it's great that you moved from Vivekananda to his Guru's school. Vivekananda to Ramakrishna. Great development, right? Yeah. And then you got through the IIT entrance?
Yes, sir, I was so currently the students, some of you who might be aspiring, and after it, so many other students from VKV also going to IITs. So when I came, it was 92, IIT JE was there, then studied in IIT Kanpur, computer science, as usual BTech.
IIT Kharagpur. Kanpur.
That's from 92 to 96.
So prompted you to take computer science for BTech?
Computer science is, as I was saying, exposure, example, my young friends out here, the amount of exposure which they have now in the news media, the TV, or the cell phones, etc., is much more than what we were exposed to at our point of time. When we were studying, for example, in Jaipur, that was during the 1988 Seoul Olympics, when Olympics there, one small TV set out there where India, England, the hockey match also was on, we lost the game 3-2 or something, and the TV screen also was not clear. Those were the conditions of technology at that point of time. Times have changed now, there are more options. So apart from this exposure and other avenues also are there. When we had studies, we had one, he was from Kerala, teacher who had come, who was a graduate from IIT, who had done everything from IIT Madras. So he taught us in 9th and sometime then when I was in Kanpur, when I was in Archivation Germany, at that point in time, another young Swamiji, in case of Swamiji also when they joined earlier it is white robe, then they grow to the orange robe one. So the young Swamiji had come, he had done, he's also from Tamil Nadu, I think he had done his MTech and mechanical engineering from Hyderabad. So when talking to him, he said, these are the options, you have those options. Otherwise, perhaps I wanted to do an MSc or something in pure sciences. But while studying for JEE, etc., I found it a bit tough and so on. So I thought it would make sense to change it. That was the ground at the point.
So 96 you passed your B.Tech.
Yes, sir, I passed through.
But then how did you shift from computer science to administration?
What happens is, this is again, this is only for the knowledge of my young friends. When you go to college, etc., you're exposed to many things. If you go to good colleges, practically, typically a good humanities college also, or a commerce college, or if you're studying in big metro, you will be exposed. Similarly, at the point in time when I was in IIT Kanpur, as you are aware, till the first and second year, you don't have all these options and all, you just study your semesters and courses and all, and take part in a couple of activities, and life goes on. But once, when one comes to the third year, then one sees what the seniors are doing, what are the options. That time, many of them, at least the brilliant ones, will be going for scholarship to study in America. And the colleges out there, California, how MIT or Caltech, etc., those who wanted to do further studies in engineering, etc., they used to go for scholarship, and they will obviously be the GRE exam. It's an examination which is known as GRE, Graduate Report Examination. Those of you, after you do your graduation in India, if you want to study in most of these colleges, you have to pass the examination, you have to get some good percentage. It's TOEFL also, test of English is for example. So a couple of them used to do that, the studying for that. And similarly, others were there who were preparing to appear in that common admission just for the Indian Institute of Management. Then apart from placements, campus placements where you go into campus interviews for the companies and also everything. After my experience in the third year, I felt that I would not want to be in an AC room only because computer science essentially is at that point of time. If you are among the brilliant lot, you could perhaps go for a scholarship apply. If you are not among the brilliant lot, which I was not among the brilliant lot, so because of that, then you have to look for job and you have to look for other options and all. I mean, one may not be very keen to do masters in computer science with those high-end maths, etc., discrete maths and all those theories and all. So I decided at the point of time I wanted, because I had grown up in the places where I had studied, jungles where I wanted to be a bit away from the towns. So then I was on list and that compulsion also was there, so I felt I had to come back. So if I have to come back to Arunachal, the best means would have been if I crack the exam and get back. There's no guarantee that I will be cracking the examination first. Number two, there's no guarantee that I will, in case I will make it to IAS or any of the services also I will post. But then one was really not aware about all this data, the location, etc. at that point in time. You have a very hazy outline of things, whatever you plan to do, so it was only an outline. So based on that, after the final year and the final year start itself, I decided that the project of PhD and then plan. And then after passing out, gave the exam twice to make it the second time.
B.Tech IIT at Kanpur, computer science batch. How many students were there?
At that point of time,
In your class, the batch.
computer science we get around 33.
Out of 33, do you rate yourself now as the most effective?
No sir, I mean in this terms, if you take
Because you mentioned that I am not one in the message. People who try to go abroad, I'm sure people will try for GATE and then maybe an MTech in IIT. And then you have changed your path.
amongst the lot of 33, there are one or two who, I think out of them, so what happened was around 7, 8 or 9, 10 of them would have got scholarships. Scholarships, they appeared in GRE. At the time from Kanpur, one had to travel to Allahabad to get the GRE exam, and then once you get into GRE, you get a good score. good score in GRE, then you request the professors for the recommendations which they send. And some of them, now I'm not very sure about times, now the colleges have grown more and other issues. So at that point in time, half of the batch and 1/3 of the batch would have got scholarship, those were interested. Then almost everyone, not almost everyone of us at the time, since the whole IIT Kanpur itself batch was just 300 odd. Unlike now where the number of departments increased, number of batches also increased. Campus placements were done 100%, everybody got jobs in software companies or some other companies in India. But most of those, as you were saying rightly, sir, most of those who were planning to study abroad or who were planning to do management studies in India or higher studies, they would not be joining the company. And some of us, like who were giving civil service examples, exam, they also not be joining and some of them joined. So out of the 33, 1/3 went on scholarship to US to study in various colleges out there to do their MS. It is like MTech here, Masters 1.5 years, depending on one's ability. Then most of them went for jobs. 2-3 of computer science batch got into the IM sector. They got into IM sector. Then another 3 or 4 or 5 would have joined a couple of companies in India. Just big in India, some of them joined. There were, for example, SK Infotech was there, and some of the other foreign companies. IBM was initially at the time, now it's become some other company. That time, Tata also had their own.
Yes.
Apart from that, they had some other doing that. TCS and Infosys normally, at that point of time, the computer science students would not join that. It's normally other engineering background students would join. That kind of segregation, it was understood, it was not done normally. Then 3 or 4 of us gave the UPSC exam, and 3 or 4 of us go through. Among the most successful ones is, there have been a couple of my batchmates in US who have studied their company, who joined, went on there, did some studies for 1.5 years, joined some companies, worked for there for some time, then either they did further MBA from Harvard or all those institutes, or some of them started
their own
companies and just sold out. So once is monetarily, some of them, those who were not really academic toppers, those who have been in the bottom up, those who started, they have made tons of money. One sees that as an indicator for success. Another is, at least the batch topper, he is still in one of the institutes. He was in Kaling Tayeng, and then recollecting the Institute of Computer Science. He is a professor there. Out of them, around 3 or 4 professors of computer science. But the person who academically has done the most, he has brought the most papers done and made a job or something. This was complicated.
But you are the only one who got into Indian administrative service.
So apart from me, from my guys, 2 more are in IAS and 1 is in the Indian revenue service. 2 are 1. So basically this is Jharkhand Khanan, one another Manish Chauhan was there, this is West Bengal Khanan.
But after BTech, you appeared for some coaching centers, or you tried through coaching centers, or you directly wrote the exam?
So as you are aware, for this kind of exams, if the tendency was that depending on the subjects which you do, if one appears from subjects like what you have taken during engineering or during your graduation, whether you do humanities or commerce, then one may not have to struggle so much. Suppose in majority of the IIT Kanpur students would choose chemistry, they will choose their mechanical engineering, mechanical civil engineering, or maths and physics. In the case of, they may not have to take coaching beyond perhaps something. I had taken geography for the options and maths as other options. So, and then because of the kind of papers at the time, I thought for general studies, which is more GP and others, if I take coaching, it will be more appropriate. So I taken post-coaching.
So you basically started only from third or maybe second year, third year BTech?
It's
after BTech?
After the BTech.
Do you suggest this to the students, or do you suggest them to start from the young age itself?
It's not requisite. On this topic, perhaps depending on the query you ask, I'll come to it. But my own viewpoint is that until now, sir, seen. Apart from IIT exam is separate, that calls for something else, they may have to plan accordingly. But for this UPSC business, etc., there's no point perhaps aiming. I mean, my own advice to you would be at this point in time when you're in class 9, 10, and all, you can have a general outline. I mean, you can't perhaps plan at this time, at this age and time that you will join IAS, you will be there, because conditions may change, exam patterns may change, depending on your exposure, depending on how you do in class 10 and 12, depending on your inclination, your interest, or the kind of college where you land up, depending on your other factors at the point in time, one can change the aim. So what I would suggest in this is that you pursue whatever you feel broadly are your interests at this point in time. And once graduation is done, or if you are studying humanities, it is you are doing BA, some science, BSc, in your third year, or final year, or fourth year, depending on the course, or once you have done at the second of time, it's more appropriate to take a call.
Don't you think now the competition for IAS, the awareness for IAS have increased and the competition is much more tougher and harder? Maybe you have achieved at the age of 24? Yeah, 24. But do you think the average age, if you look at it, who are cracking IAS today is 26? So it has increased by 2 years?
Sir, this is, some of us may be aware that the UPSC had constituted a committee and they are reviewing the exam pattern again. Last time they reviewed it also. And when we had passed out, it's also a question of one's luck and chance. See, when I passed out, at that point of time, one can say we were lucky because I had taken maths, and maths used to be very sporadic. When some questions have come, particular theory and solving, if you're able to get it, you will get full score. If you write the same answer in geography or history, however good you write, one may not be able to get a big score. The individual papers, like supposing you are in class 8 now, you 9, almost all of you are in class 9, you appear for a paper in English. In UPSC, at that point of time, there will be 2 papers in English of 300 marks. In English, if you are very good, very talented in English, perhaps 180 or 200 at most. Out of 300, you can get at most 180 or 200. 200 will be if you are the best of the lot. Otherwise, 150 or 180 will be the average. During our time, maths, if you could do well out of 300, you can get 260, 270 in the course. So in that range, if you do well in one, your marks will go up and will pay you. So those conditions have changed, the pattern has changed. And every few years, the pattern gets reviewed and all. So the equality they brought in, marking has been downgraded in maths and sciences because of the number of students who are qualified from this course to get degrees. Then, sir, what happens is, depending on the year and time, the age factor can increase by 2 years and all that, because perhaps one of the arguments was that many of the candidates who come from hinterland India, this is the rural areas of Bihar, UP and all, where the feeling that one has to go for the civil service exam, for the IAS etc. is higher. For example, those who are coming from towns etc. is much less. And if you have got avenues to join the multinational companies or good companies, then it may not make so much sense to join unless one goes to something else. Those are the age factors increased depending on one's inclination and interest at that point of time. The feel is that even if one starts preparing at this point of time, one can't do justice to many things. Because one will have to do one study, and at this stage and time, if you are in class 9, you can't study all day. There's no point wasting 7-8 hours day studying for your thing and all, because you have to play also, take all of the things, you have to do other things of interest also. And there's no guarantee that after you prepare for 6-7 years, the exam pattern will remain same or your results will continue. As long as my general feeling is that if I advise to some others who come to me for advice is that you do your graduation, you study and see what is the interest at this point in time. If you are genuinely interested, if you genuinely are willing to slow, 1 or 2 years at the point of time is no more than enough after doing your graduation. Crack most of these exams. This is my prediction.
If I'm asking the question that whether successful or not, do you feel now accomplished by serving Arunachal Pradesh, your own state, being in your own land where you can serve your own people. And I'm sure you have served different departments. Do you feel that sort of a cherished person?
It depends. This is very, this query is not very easy to answer also, and depends on my also answer will be, I think the satisfaction or otherwise of having achieved in life or done something depends on one's philosophical expectation about life. So in this sense, as I generally when talking to my colleagues in IAS or my colleagues, some of you must be having Facebook accounts or other accounts. So once in our time, we weren't having them. Once we have Facebook accounts, I can correspond or talk to my friends in America, etc. Everyone seems to be having their own issues. The person who made the maximum money, he also seems to be having his or her own issues. The one who's in Bangalore, some of them, many of them were in TCS and Infosys, not public friends, some other departments. Those my roommates or those wingmates, etc. Those are my answer specifically would be, other side of the fence normally looks greener. So I feel that once for IAS also, those who are outside will feel it's great. The same way those who are inside won't find that it's so great and all the other issues. Similarly, I feel that some of my colleagues who are in America who are traveling every week there, they go to Antarctica, they go to Alaska for holidays, and here and there they post on Facebook, etc. One feels that they're having a great time. But when one talks to them, they also have their own issues and all, their children growing up, their families. One colleague is from Guwahati. His parents are here, his father is expired, he's there and all that. He wants his first parents there, issues of adjustment, divorce, or certain issues. So there's no harm in past. I don't think I've accomplished my own personal ambitions. From an outsider's perspective, for somebody who may not be from the metro area, for them, at the end of the day, civil services essentially a job only. For those who are in Maharashtra, they may feel like accomplished. For those who are inside, for example, me, unfortunately, one of our colleagues who should have been here, Mr. Joram, I should not make it. Perhaps is much younger to me. Perhaps could have interacted with him also. You may have opportunities to show you may have met him. So he also could have shared his thoughts on this. As I said, this is a very open query and all. One in the question definitely answer it.
Number of officers of IAS categories are required for Arunachal Pradesh now. Are we able to, from Arunachal Pradesh, to support that many number?
Otherwise, what happens is in these also, there's an inside the country in the sense that one gives the exam, you have, if you are from Arunachal, you can opt for Arunachal.
Yeah.
If you are not from Arunachal, also you can opt for. So in that way, the number of insiders here are quite a handful only, they are short, but then it is adjusted, being adjusted.
So generally there will be a preference from that state to be part of that state.
During our time, when we gave the exam and when we qualified, at that point of time, the pattern was different in the sense, even if you were to topper out the batch, for example, the batch topper, I was from the 98 batch of IAS. So the batch topper of that was also from 95. We were almost in the top 20, halfway from 81%. He could not make it, he is from UP, so he could not make it, he got to some other campus, second rank also. So that time there was no option, either you could opt for your home state or you could, they will give you a random allocation. Now I think the last couple of years they have this journal one. If I am not from Arunachal also, if I am from Assam, if I don't get Assam, I can opt for Arunachal or from other states. There is a sequence in which one can opt for that goes as well.
So, political pressure and the problems, does it really affect the administrative staff in India? Or do you have a free hand to do? Literally not, but at least to some extent are you able to do that?
So in this respect, I think so you are also perhaps in the government at this side. You will know.
Now I am from a department where we didn't have any political interference.
Process political in that, and science and technology and all those things. That interference is less. In public dealings, etc., obviously interference is there because they are elected by the people, they have their own aspirations and they have answerable to them, we are not. So that tussle is there, obviously there is a balance, there is a fine balance and all. And finally it's a democracy, so one may or may not like it, but one has to accept that the MLAs or the ministers, amongst the MLAs, they are the ones who are answerable. Whatever I do or I don't do, I am not answerable to the people out here, in the sense there's a security for my job, I don't have to face elections, which they have to face. So since they have their own pressure, if one sees from their perspective, then they do have their own issues, and in a small place like Arunachal, where everyone is accessible, where each MLA is answerable to only a handful of locals and all, in the sense the number of voters is very less, issues are there, there's a fine balance, and with experience one tends to handle that. That's their approach.
Your career plans, and when we can see you as Chief Secretary of Arunachal Pradesh and Cabinet Secretary for India.
So I don't have, because these plans, for example, Cabinet Secretary depends on one's luck and chance, etc. at the point of time and the political expense, all those.
Hope that favors to you, what would be?
I am personally not inclined. I am happy being posted in Arunachal. I spent 1 year in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, long back in 1999, and then 2 years I was there in Goa. Delhi, I was there for 1.5 years back. 1.5 years back, I was there in Delhi for 2 years. So I'm back here, and it's my home state, parents are there, somebody is there, because of my own issues I want to be. I don't have any major aims, at least on this. In the career path, I don't have major aims. On personal path, yes, I do have my own aims, which perhaps I will share openly in this forum. Then if those personal aims fructify, then couple of years down the line and leave the job, that's personal problem.
How about your family? Wife?
It's a household, okay.
Children?
And that's the game of schools. So please see, that's the part of life. Many of you, some of you may have studied with some of my, at least two of my daughters also, some of you may have known, may not know. So every parent wants and expects their children to study. So your parents are fortunate. Like perhaps my parents are fortunate at that point of time because they don't have to say that you study this, you study that, I study. That's a part of life. So since all of you are here amongst the thousands of VKV students who are studying in all over Arunachal various schools, you must have done exceedingly well in classes. You must have your own motivations. You must be, your parents must be very happy with all of you. So that way, expect and request all of you continue on the path. Keep other interests also. At point of time sometime when there's time to share and come to some other points. Whatever you are doing is carry it on. It should hold you within life.
How do you rate you are holding a very, very powerful portfolio, because I know that the development of a state depends on the power consumption and the power generation, and that is part of the overall development of the state. And you have the woman and child empowerment also, so that it is going to be a family and as well as a city development program under your control. What could be your contribution to this state to say that yes, I have done something great in this?
So this thing, I think due to some wrong printing of their part is gone. Perhaps Jorapeta is in charge of women in child development. I'm not really holding charge. I'm essentially looking after the elections as the chief electoral officer. Elections, yes, you are aware. I think in your, I'm not very sure in our time we had something known as civics or you must be having
civics.
Social studies and also democracy and also elections for the MLAs, they are conducted every 5 years, similarly for the MPs. So the conducting MLAs elections and all that, for that we are responsible. The electors, enrolling them in the electoral rolls and all. It is my job as the chief electoral officer. I get the job done for the deputy commissioners in the districts. That is one part. The second one is that the commissioner is secretary of the power department. So power department is electrical power is there, then Arunachal, there were so many rivers. So we are trying to look to developing the potential of the hydropower industry. Unfortunately, hydropower is stuck up just prior to coming to here, just discussing with one of the officers of Canada from different. So, Demand project is there, example, Swansea project is there. They would have been the largest hydropower projects in India with the commission. Because of objection from the neighboring state of Assam and downstream impact issues, they were stuck. So it does not appear like the bigger projects are going to come soon unless government of India is going to proceed. So those are, we are trying at least the smaller projects, 100 megawatt, 120 megawatt, or 250 megawatt, they are able to come. The 2000 megawatt or 50,000 megawatt projects are in the
What is the community which you belong to, and what is the state of affair of the development in that community area or the village where you hail from?
I'm from the community, the Kaling tribe here. I think some of them must be from the I don't stay in town. I still stay. Parents still stay in village. So I stay near Pasika, just about 2-3 kilometers up from the village, one of the village of the city. So that way, the community is comparatively advanced. I think now, if I may say, based on my exposure, I have served in Lower Subansiri, that is in Jiro and Lohit district also. Most of the tribes, they are comparatively equal, I think, except Rajpur, Kannada and Channel and a couple of other parts where there are some issues of accessibility and backwardness, infrastructure.
So you think the development of electricity and the transportation will make the state much better?
It will take time, sir. Compared to other states, I think some of you will have the opportunity to travel. May not be now, afterwards, some of you may travel. If you travel to most other parts of the country, you will see this kind of development there. If you travel to Jammu and Kashmir, etc., also, you will see the road conditions. Or if you travel to Uttarakhand or Uttarakhand, the road conditions out there, which we don't have. Because of various factors, development took place late and all that, accessibility issues, funding issues. So these are in the realm of the policy issues that actually take a longer time.
Thank you. It was nice talking to you and then some interacting. Hopefully, some of the students who are here, you could have some questions. I invite at least a few students to ask some questions, some 5 or 6 students.
Suppose if I want to become a SP or IPS officer in my lab, then what should I do in my job time? This will be like.
Thank you for it. I think most of you must have heard of Mr. Robin Ego. I think those of you, since some of you who have Facebook accounts, this is a site known as Voice of Arunachal. And Faltu posts most of the time, but Robin Ego is one of the IPS officers. I think the lone IPS officer from Arunachal. There's one more guy who qualified for us 2 years back. It is the same exam. I think at this point of time, I would repeat, I have not been able to make myself clear. All of you are, most of you have a long road ahead of you. In a sense, suffer aapka abhi shuru. You are in class 9 now. These, as I said, these aims, aspirations and all, 99% of you may not stick to your aims. जो भी आपने अभी दिल में सोच रखा है कि ये करूँगा, वो करूँगा, शायद आप जब क्लास 10 पास करेंगे या क्लास 12 पास करेंगे, उसके बाद कुछ वो जो मकसद है शायद many things will change. As I said, the broader picture will be try to do your academics well. You must have seen 3 idiots. I emphasize this. I go with that view expressed in 3 idiots. If you can try to understand and have interest in few of the subjects and studies. If you just by rote, if you are trying to do well, perhaps it may not carry you far. Class 10 exams to treat kar lenge, the class 12 ke baad, if you are inclined to go for engineering, etc., you will have to do some kind of thinking and all this. So try to have an interest in these subjects, whether English or Hindi or whatever you want to do. And apart from academics, try to read. Read in the sense, I don't know, if you have other interests, for example, most of the VKVs used to have good libraries, still there must be. You will have introductory books on human history or psychology or philosophy or English novels and wherever you are interested. Please don't keep your reading only to your textbooks. Try to read something beyond. Try to have some hobbies. And my own view, that this for class 9 and 10, you don't have to study 8 hours. It's not going to help you. You can try to efficiently study when you study in 8, 9, 10, etc. Obviously, you should study. Exams are पहले तो पढ़ना ही है. You can stop the whole year. One should not concentrate on study. If you are having other interests, painting or music or dancing or singing or arts or something, so try to keep those alive those interests in life. Then coming on to this broad hobbies and broad ambitions. I will answer the specific query, but just I wanted to highlight this one. Once you get into class 10, depending on your parental pressure, your siblings, your teachers, your exposure, your ideas will change. Depending on what you do in class 12, you are able to go for engineering, medicine, or psychology, humanities, and arts. My own view is that at our time, convention field appears to be less. People generally in India tend to go for medicine and engineering, which is really not fair. If somebody like, if you're very confident, if your English is very good, if you can analyze, if you can argue, one can go after class 12 for the 5 years integrated or 5 years full-time law degree. I have in my department of hydropower, we have some Supreme Court cases. The advocates of Supreme Court who, the way kind of money, they are printing money. And they seem to be earning the most amount of money compared to anybody in India. One sees hourly. Basically, just stand up at Supreme Court, you are a senior advocate, you show your face, just for arguing 5 minutes, your bill is 7 lakhs, 8 lakhs. That applies to almost many other fields, even in English. English, if you are very good, if you know all the grammar, police talk, etc., which I am not good at, some of you might be good if you have inclination for that. Studying in Arunachal or our colleges or our universities here will not suffice. But if your grammar is terribly excellent, if you have genuine interest in English and beyond that, still now the magazines, many of the international magazines, they are printed in India, published in India. But the proofreading is done in USA or UK or Germany through email. If you are competent, sitting in Itanagar and any of the metros, if you can do fine editing of them, you can tell something. That kind of thing is, because of them I have emphasized, you may have broad outlines. You will have these kind of options, but keep them open. Depending on exposure and depending on what happens in the next couple of years, you may change it. Okay? Once you do your graduation, only after graduation, if you do BA, it's 3 years, BSc 3 years, some law, if you do integrated law, 5 years, or similarly, if you do BTech, MTech, 4 years or 5 years, medicine 4.5 years. At that point of time, you may have to take a call and what you do. So if you want to be an IPS officer, you have to get the civil service exam. Civil service exam is the same exam through which you can join revenue service, Indian Revenue Service, or Indian Postal Service, or Police Service, or Administrative Service, or Indian Foreign Service. You want to be a part of the country serving in embassies as Ambassador of India or High Commissioner of India in various parts of the world. I think one of our secretaries, Mr. Tayeng is there, he is some hero, you may know his daughter qualified for IFS about 2-3 years back. So, once you do your graduation, आपका BA, BSc या BCom या BTech या BE या MBBS कर दीजिए, उसके बाद at that point of time you have to decide what subjects you will choose, what you will do, then one can plan. Because how you do well in the civil service exam, depending on that, you have an option. You can give your choice. If you want to join the police service at the time, one can opt for IPS as the first choice, or IAS or IFS, and there are so many others in the time. So these answers quite important.
I agree with him that you don't have to aim for Indian administrative service, but I suggest all of you to aim for IAS, which is immediate academic success. Okay? Which will make you to become IAS or maybe whichever field you are as the brightest. And inspire, aspire, success. That is IAS. It's not Indian administrative service alone. So keep looking at the highest position.
Sir, I'm Kaling Tayeng from VKV Itanagar. So sir, my question is that you have got a big success in such a young age, and everyone wants success in their life. So my question is that what's the main thing which we should focus to get success, a big success in our life?
Thank you. That's a very tough question. Difficult question. I'm 40 years old and they say don't call me young. example, I'm
40 years younger.
40 plus and all, so I have children of their age and all that. So I also have the parental struggles and all because they want them to study, they won't study and all. So those issues are there that applies perhaps for everyone of us in life. As I said earlier, the parents are unfortunate. What I would say is that, see, I again emphasize, if you can really have, as I'm repeating now, perhaps son also here is saying, at this point of time, academic success is very important. But to keep you in good stead, to balance your life, and those hobbies also will be useful in various interviews and various parts of life to give you a semblance of balance. One, if you're very sure, I don't know if one or two of you are very sharp or you're very sure that मुझे यही करना है, किसी के पीछे जीवन में दौड़ना है, यही करना है, this is fine, fair enough. Some of you might be academically also mentally more advanced. So if you have that feeling, you can keep the aim, run after that, you go after the goal, but then as I said, there are no hard and fast answers to that query. You will have to take as it comes. What I would still suggest is that जैसे 3 videos वाला picture में बोला कि success के पीछे मत भागो. आप जो भी feel आप कर रहे हो, whatever you want, if you can try to be very good in it. See, ex-VKV and some of them, I don't know, some of you may be aware, but somebody is there from Novi, who is a cartoonist. She draws and sketches. She is based in Delhi. She is working for one of the publishers out there. So it's not a very, it's not exactly field which is well known, but by sketching or drawing or all those things also, if you can make your life good, it's fair. Similarly, many other fields would be there. What I would suggest again and again is, if you have not firmed up your goals, you can wait, but then try to do academically well, as Sir is saying. If you have firmed up your goals, try to expand them. Supposing you have firmed up your goal to be a doctor, you can't do much at this point in time. Look, class 8 is too early, or class 9 is too early. अगर मान लीजिए आपने अभी ठान लिया कि आपको MBBS करना है, आप क्या कर देंगे? आप तो you can't start studying those MBBS entrance exam books. You may not be able to make much of them. There will be a waste of time. Instead of that, आप जो अभी long term goals अगर आपने बना लिया है, if you have long run aims आपने set कर लिया तो बड़ी अच्छी बात है. If you have not set them, you have time. As Sir is saying, and again re-emphasize it, try to do your academics well, but along with academics, keep your hobbies alive. Read something else also so that your knowledge improves. See, in life and beyond academics also, I think I was one of those students who did not ever speak up in class or ask a query, etc. But with practice, one can come to podiums like this and give speeches and all, one can answer queries and all that happens. So some of you will be introverts, some of us are extroverts. You understand? I don't think all of us who are here will have really the guts here to come and ask queries. Some may not feel comfortable with that. This is another aspect of life. Try to improve your English. English speaking is very important, even if you do very well in your past. If you do academically very well also, in life one has to face a number of interviews, discussions, queries, etc., where your confidence will get. Confidence can be built up. If a person like me who did not till class 10 come up, speak hardly once a year, twice, if I can speak like this, all of you can do it. You are much more smarter than me, you are much more knowledgeable of many things than me. So what I would say is, again what Sir was saying, academics में ध्यान दीजिए, आप class 9 में पढ़ाई लिखाई कीजिए, try to understand concepts and grammar. Routing या जो याद करना है वो तो चाहिए ही कुछ facts के लिए, लेकिन उसी ऊपर don't solely depend on it. Try to understand, emphasize, do well in academics, keep hobbies alive. Read something about all history, not your history books, all Indian history or some all other American history. They will be of some use in some point in life because mind has got mental models. In your interviews, whenever you need goals, etc., they will be of help afterwards. Then whenever you have an opportunity, you are still in school, till 12 you are in school, your debates, extempore, etc., all these things, please take an active part. Ask questions in class. develop your confidence. Developing confidence is speak up and asking questions and improving your English. That's also very important. If some of you have comparatively weaker English, internet is available during your vacations or in school. Take good help of them. See and understand, because that will count a lot. What is happening in India now, this is the last one that will make it very long, is there are many graduates who come out from engineering colleges, but their English is very poor. If your English is quite poor, one is not employable. That's the part right which one is correct. So that's why keep your goals right. If you don't have goals, it's fine. So study your academics, try to understand. Wait for the goals to come. Read something else beyond academics. Take part, personal hobbies, sports, hobby, academics, skill in time, health also is important. Then let's hope that things are fine and carry on. I think if you do this after class 12 and all, when you continue your goals, you should be on the path to success and you should be able to do it.
I want a suggestion from you that one of my brother is living in Delhi. He wants to write an IAS examination and he is living in Tech Park. Is it suitable for him to give now or later?
Class 10. Class 10 is too early. Class 10 तो पहले class 10 को तो चाप दो ना. Class 10 you bring 10 you bring to what is that? Principal A's or 5 A's ले अगर class 10 में ला सकता है और ये सब which all of you should be able to do and will be able to do well in class 10. Then choose, because in life you can't change. If you join science, it becomes difficult to change to humanities, at least in India. पहले class 10 कर लो, then take your choice of subjects in 11, 12, do it well, try to do class 12 well, then you go on to whatever you want to do. Because this IAS and UPSC business, all the civil service exams will come only after you graduate. It is too far away. As I said, you can have a long run idea, a long run AG picture. आप जैसे अगर पेंटिंग बना रहे हैं तो वो long run final product होगा, लेकिन शुरुआत में जब पहला या second या third जो brush मारेंगे उससे नहीं होने वाला. That is why I cannot give an advice at this point in time, direct advice, because if somebody is in class 10, depending on how you do in class 10, depending on what you study in class 11, 12, depending on what is the outcome of your graduation. See, my view is that if you have better option, then IAS perhaps may not be a good job. See, if you want to travel the world, see the world, if you want to live your life fully, if you are brilliant enough, one day is of graduation कीजिए. There are so many other ways. This is one way. The shortest way is 3 years graduation in any field. Appear for CAT, common admission tests. It's not very difficult exam with some effort you can crack. Do MBA in one of the IIMs, Indian Institute of Management. Do well. 1.5 years करना है, 2 साल करना है. You will get into MNC, multinational company. कोई company you will be placed in Singapore, America, UK, and you will be placed. You get to travel and see the world. You have money. That's one part of it. If you want the life, and if you want this kind of life, serving in rural areas, meeting the politicians, giving speech to students like you, then you are welcome to him for IAS or IPS for that matter. Class 10 is too early. That's my summary. Class 10 is too early. Do it in class 10, 12, and then see what offers, what is very interesting after your graduation at that point. That is the right time. And Delhi is the right place. Delhi is so many coaching institutes. Everyone appears for UPSC after graduation and around the time of graduation. You come to know all automatically.
Sir, hello Namaskar. My name is Triveni. I'm from Bihar. So my question is that many students go for coaching centers, but also they don't take the IAS examination. In that case, if we don't go for coaching and if we prepare from our own, then can we break the examination?
Yes, when the exams can be cracked, I think there should not be an issue. But then the advantage of coaching is that, as I said earlier, which may not have been very clear, but this question may not be of interest to everyone. Depending on the subjects we choose it. As I said, this is too advanced for this stage in life and time, but depending on the subjects there, coaching is of use. Supposing these, to change the question a bit, if you want to qualify in the medical entrance exam, or the engineering entrance exam, because after 2 years, I think now you are in 9, after 2 years you will pass class 10, then you will be in 11, 12. So you might opt for science. If you want to qualify for IITs or some of the good medical colleges, then obviously coaching will help, because the material out there which comes in the exam is not directly from whatever you are going to study in class 12. Class 12 alone may not be enough. So in that sense, if you have the aim and ambition, if you are able to withstand the load of coaching, if you have motivation, then coaching will be of some use. Similarly, for the IAS exam or IPS exam, this is a single exam. If you want to take coaching, it will help. Supposing you have done BA in English, you will take English and some other, say, geography. So if you have not done studied geography earlier, if you take coaching, it will help to make life easier. So coaching will help, and even if you don't take coaching, you may be able to get through. There's no second opinion about it. Depends on one's interest and the amount of hard work you are willing to make and the drive you have. So it cuts both ways. There's an option which is open to you. You can choose what you want to at that point of stage in life.
First of all, wonderful afternoon to all those present here. My name is Motar Batar from Jordan. Sir, I want to ask you that to gain some, it is said that to gain something, we have to lose something. Sir, so in your life, in your journey now to become IAS, have you lost something? Or any moment where you felt that you can't? You can tell us some incident.
So many things are there, you will have to sacrifice. When I was in Jaipur at that time, because of all this, as I said, IAS is too far away for you. You have so many other options. Don't get bogged down by digress, and don't get bogged down by IAS, etc. and all. See, सरकारी नौकरी करने से अच्छा है अगर आप में दम होने से, if you are capable enough, the world is open for you at this stage in life. Try to do management, try to be one of the best lawyers, try to be one of the best doctors, one of the best who are in English. Then the world is just a platter. You will get to see the world, travel the world, you will have a fulfilling life. As I said, the fence looks greener. I am in IAS, so I am sharing my perspective of how it appears to me from inside. So that viewpoint is there. But coming to sacrifices, after when one is in 11, 12, some of you will perhaps appear for IIT JAs and all. So engineering entrance exam, अगर आप तैयारी करेंगे तो मेहनत करना पड़ेगा. So my batchmates, my classmates at the time, they used to learn driving bikes. So I did not have the opportunity to learn. So the same way, so in that way, there are some other opportunities where there which one had to sacrifice. बाइक जो ड्राइव करना है मैंने सीखा नहीं. 11वीं 12वीं में जब था तो पढ़ाई लिखाई के आए थे एग्जाम के लिए. जो मेरे बैच में जो यहाँ कुछ लोग अरुणाचल में, कुछ लोग बाहर है, since they were driving motorcycles at that point of time, it was an opportunity I could have learned. I sacrificed this. It's an example. So you have to sacrifice few things at this stage.
I think we should thank him by giving a great
Thank you very much, sir. You are really has inspired our younger ones. You are the first IAS from our educational setup. Many of the juniors like Jaram Beda, Mitali Namchoom, so many have taken your footsteps. I am sure someone from this group also will be taking your footsteps and will be addressing such a wonderful gathering in the future. With that, from the core of our heart, we thank you for sparing a very, very valuable time for all of us. Thank you very much. We will conclude this wonderful session with the Shanti. Sarve